I'm sitting here with Sten, CEO of Audientes. Let's dive a little bit into you finalized your joint venture in China by the signing. So let's dig a little bit into those details. You have given us a little bit, but now it's finalized. So let's look a little bit about the details. So most important question, who is the partner and what is he bringing to the table?
Well, the partner we have made a joint venture agreement with now is our distribution partner in China since last year. And also our investor, one of our investors in Audientes. And Hengtong is a company that has been working since they were founded in 2013, really within the distribution of accessories and sort of aids for geriatric patients. So they are already working in the sort of medical field, and that's why they have found interest in of course, what we are bringing to the table, which is, you can say, this new generation of hearing aids that are easy accessible and self-fitting and so forth.
And let's look a little bit about the details. How is this financed and what do you come with and how do you bring the financing to the table?
Yeah, so the joint venture will be established as a Sino-foreign joint venture in China. And we have sort of been focusing on really that Hengtong is the local market expert. And so they have basically received a sort of 60% share in this joint venture, and Audientes is taking the 40% as a minority investor in the joint venture. So both parties contribute respectively cash, and you can say we contribute product licenses, and we also contribute some existing stock of components for manufacturing the products. So for us, you can say it's a really good approach to actually getting in, working with a partner who can capitalize this setup quite well from within China.
And let's look a little bit about the product. Does that mean that you now very soon will bring a product to the Chinese market and a little bit about future projects, or how is this joint venture put together?
Yes, so we will bring a product into the Chinese market. In fact, we already have one that is being pre-marketed in China. It's the Chinese version of Companion, which is called Xiyingyu in Chinese. It's a trademark that has been obtained, so we can really focus on marketing this in a sort of well-defined manner, not you can say conflicting with other brands that are already there. And the new products that we're going to create in the joint venture is actually within the medical device space. So Xiyingyu is the sort of current, you can say, model of operating with our partner that continues as we have set out to do. And then we have the future products that are within the medical device space. They will be basically made within the joint venture and marketed by the joint venture.
And I think everybody looking from abroad know it's very important to have a Chinese partner on the Chinese market. But can you talk a little bit about what are the advantages that they bring you? Can you get government support and so on? It's always been the way into the Chinese market for a lot of companies.
Absolutely. So I think it's important to bear in mind that our product today is already being manufactured within China. And okay, we have a Swedish manufacturing partner, but the factory is in China. So in order then to you can say get expedited market access, also when it comes to approvals and so on, it is easier and faster to actually make the products and market them within China than if you come from abroad. So this is part of the driving force for why did we establish this. I think we have come to know our local partner there during the last year very nicely. They seem to be very enthusiastic and competent, and I think this is why we have found each other in this setup. We announced the setup back in early April, so we have taken about 4 months to, you can say, really iron out the sort of model, how it's going to work, who's doing what, and now we have formalized this in an agreement, and now the actual company will be established. That's the next steps. For us, this is a first in many ways. First of all, it's the first time, of course, we make a joint venture in China. We have made, you can say, subsidiaries now in India and in Japan, but doing it this way in China is the first. I think it's the right way to do it. I think from us, it's also a first when it comes to offering a product license model to a partner. So this is also what we announced very early this year, that we're going to pursue that approach. And this model is actually embodied in this joint venture. So for us, it's changing the way we operate, so we don't have to fund and do everything ourselves. For example, working capital for manufacturing products, it's a pretty tough thing for a young, small company trying to grow and become really good at something. And what we have then chosen to do is say, we think this platform model is a really good space for us. And this is the first step in, you can say, realizing a business around that.
And having a local Chinese partner, you know, you're looking into probably some public programs sometimes for this, maybe some public support, all the investment funds they have. Is that also a possibility to tap into that?
That is an absolutely good point. Yes, there is. There is, just like in the EU, there is government funds for accelerating, innovating programs. Our partner believes that it's possible to actually obtain funding for some of these ideas we have within China and actually get this, you can say, local support financially and also participate in various programs in that regard. So that's absolutely one of the aims. Also aim is, you can say, instead of having to tap into, you can say, the Scandinavian funding market alone, of course, we have this opportunity now in China to actually pursue loans, grants, and investments, of course, in the course of the business. So that's also one of the, you can say, angles to why this is, we think, a good approach.
And I know it's maybe a little bit too early to talk about the potential of the Chinese market. Maybe we'll come a little bit into that. But do you have higher hopes? You know, you have done the market penetration yourself in many of the countries. Japan a little bit with a partner. And it has been a little bit try and fail, you know, and that it is in a young company.
Yes.
But this one, do you have higher hopes that this is not so much a try and fail, that it will be a smoother and easier market access?
Try and succeed.
Yes, try and succeed.
But I think that's another good point. So we have learned a lot from you can say, launching the product initially in India. The Chinese market, of course, is very large. It's the same size as in India. I think people are generally more tech-savvy when it comes to buying products in e-commerce channels. The whole sort of self-fitting model we have been really sort of being, you can say, an innovator around. That whole approach fits quite well in with how Chinese citizens are looking for self-help solutions. I think the average income is somewhat higher in China, and I think they are probably in a good position to buy products in our price range as well. So can we, together with our joint venture partner, Hengtong, address the different go-to-market aspects? I think this has got a really good potential. And that's what we're going to do. So you can say the product we're launching right now in China, as we speak, that is this Chinese model of companion called Qi Ying Yu. And the successor products for that will be the Chinese version of Ven. So Ven is the hearing aid we launched in India, and we are now basically going to introduce that in China with a few, you can say, improvements and some modifications, but otherwise, to all intents and purposes, that is the first product we're going to bring in there through the joint venture.
And that's in expected in 25.
So we're basically, you know, we don't, of course, always know how long will the approval process take and everything, but that's our expectation. So in a year from now, we should have the product in the market. Maybe sooner, you know, we'll certainly do pre-marketing as early as we can before commercial availability. And that's a sort of first step. The other thing we announced earlier, of course, was this RIG type of products, or more classic hearing aid. And all these good ideas is going to also be, you can say, created inside the joint venture when it comes to China. And of course, there is an opportunity to also export from the joint venture into adjacent markets and what have you. But that, you can say, that is a part of the future things we can do.
Yeah, let's look at that when it comes to that. Thank you, Steve.
Well, thank you. Thank you.